welcome. This is a video that I have been wanting to do for quite some time. Welcome to Happy Catastrophe. I'm Candace, or Sister Minbao, and I have been on the hunt for the perfect color by number book for me. It really is subjective. It depends on whether you want to be able to see what the finished product is going to be, or you want it to be a surprise, what medium you use, what amount of difficulty you like it to be. It's so subjective. And so I have tried a ton of books and a ton of mediums, and I think I might have found something that I really, really love. So let's get started talking about everything color by number. So I began my coloring journey with the Mystery Mosaics, I believe, and the Stone Mosaics. I really tried to like those. The problem was the paper. So I don't even have those anymore to show you. A lot of you have them, a lot of you love them. It was the paper for me, just killed me. It felt and looked like newspaper. So I quickly moved on to these, thinking, because I really, for me, would really like to not know what the finished product is. So I got these mystery colors, which two of them are Joe Bartos and one of them is a Christmas one. And I started trying to color them. And I like it that I don't know what they are, because if you look at them, it's pretty hard to tell what they are. They do have a pretty decent color choice, not too many. It's very detailed, which is something I like. You can kind of tell if it's trees or a waterfall, but you know, it's really not clear. So I started in this one. And I quickly found that when I did, let's see, do I have I think I do. Yes, when I use my favorite medium, which is alcohol markers, they became, well, you could see through them, for one thing. For another thing, they were incredibly bright. I mean, I could have made this a lot more earth tones, but I just was so distracted by being able to see the numbers that I just gave up and had fun with it. But I did not like that at all. So I realized that these that have darker numbers I would not be able to use water-based or alcohol-based markers, because that looks just messy to me, and those numbers drive me crazy. So then I switched to acrylic paint pens, of which I did not have good ones. So I tried that, didn't like it, so went over it with just acrylic paint and a brush. And I like the finish product better. I don't like the feel of how acrylic dries. I don't like the way it feels, but I do like the look of it. So I decided that maybe acrylic medium was my medium of choice. Now this one was done in gouache, and I really liked that. So I thought, well, maybe acrylic and gouache is my way to go. And then I started watching, Disney Meg, who I really love her color by numbers. Here's one I started based on Feral Shoujo. She does it with acrylic paint and a paintbrush. So I'm not using acrylic paint pens, which I struggle with. They clog, or they don't clog, or they dry. I mean, I haven't found a good, I've heard Tuliarts are good, but I don't have the money right now. But I just don't have a good option. So I've been using some acrylic paint, and then I have 10 colors, and then I just mix them to get the colors I want. And that's enjoyable. But these really detailed ones, wow, it's hard to do with acrylic paint. So that's what I've started to do with this. Now, as I was saying, Disney Meg, I admire her color by numbers that she does so much. So I started wanting to, and she does it in acrylic. Now this one, the numbers are a little bit fainter, but this was done in Sharpie mostly. And I was really struggling with being able to see the numbers. So I started using acrylic paint, and I liked it much better. And that's what Spicy Cat Colors does, I believe. That's what Amanda Colors uses. That's what, and definitely Disney Megs. And I just love the way hers turn out. And she uses acrylic paint and acrylic paint pens. I have one in here I have not finished that was in acrylic. This is where I was first trying to use acrylic and I was struggling with it. I did get disillusioned, was not even really thrilled with the picture, so just kind of dropped it. But this was my first foray. Now, this is an untouched book. I've not done anything in this one. This is another Joe Bartos. And this one, oh, yes, I did. I lied. I did that. And for this one, I used acrylic paint pens. And in this experiment, I realized that I was going to, and these colors, for these big spots, I used these, I don't know, made in China, no-name pens, but they have big nibs on them and a lot of paint in them. So I don't care for their colors at all, but they cover a big area. Now, I learned two things in this. One is you're going to use up your paint, so maybe using paint instead of paint pens would be better because acrylic paint's so much cheaper. Two, it's very hard to cover a big area with a pen because you get marks. So these have all been sort of experiments to see, do I even like this? Now, I love it that it's one-sided. However, because the numbers are darker and you can see them, I'll never use alcohol markers on it. So for these books were okay. I've decided that acrylic paint is probably the way to go, except where it's really small. Then use a paint pen. I get finishes that I like. But there was something missing in these books. Maybe it's sort of like I'm not really into the actual images. So although it's fun to not really know what it is, once I color it, I don't care. I don't care that I just colored a donkey. So these were not it. Okay, so my next one that I tried was the Circulism art books by Eclipse. And these are wonderful. These are so much fun. I thought maybe I would like the dots. You can pretty much see what they're going to be. But the dots are enjoyable, especially with Sharpies. They're a lot of fun. They're fun with acrylic markers. I imagine they would be really fun with dot markers. They're fun with alcohol ink pens and water markers. I liked them. This book is not my favorite because, as you see, all the fish are facing the exact same way. So it's kind of boring, which is surprising for Eclipse that, look at, every single fish is facing the exact same way. It's very weird. Have I even done any? Yes, I have. I did do this one, and the colors are beautiful, and so I probably will do more in this, but just not a lot all at once because they are kind of repetitive. But the color palette is great. It's relaxing. I really enjoy it. So I fell in love with these books. Were these the perfect color by number? They were a good option. I love the matte cover. I think what I was missing was the mystery. I really wanted something that was a mystery, but I had a lot of fun coloring on these. This one was done in Sharpies. I love the this shiny paper. I think that was what the problem with the stone mosaic was, that newspapery like paper. I didn't like the finished product. So this paper, the finished product, is very pretty on this premium paper. I don't know if you can even get Eclipse books anymore without the premium paper, but I don't even bother. I stick with the premium paper because I just like the finished product so much. I like to look through them. This is a weird one. They look good when I make them into the stickers for my little book that tracks all my colorings. They do ask for a lot of browns, and I don't have a lot of browns that go together. So anything that requires a lot of browns usually gets several shades. But these are really fun books. Now, something that's a little bit negative for me is they're kind of expensive for what they are. They can be like $13 or something like that, but they're thin, what is it, like 25 pictures maybe. But they are a lot of fun, and every one of them's different. So like this one has different sized circles. This one is an Easter one. The circles are very small. but they are very colorful and bright. And I really do like the images in this one. Even though it's Easter, I think I will do it because, I mean, look at that. That's adorable. I think I'll do it all year long. And it's fun looking through these books. What's happening is what always happens is that I then want to sit down and do it. So maybe tonight after I finish filming this, I'll sit down and color one of these. But really fun books. And this one was given to me by a subscriber, and it's just such a sweet gift. And I really love it. Of course, I showed this, I think in my June finished pages, where my really, really sad panda. This is where I realized I needed to get better acrylic art paint pens. And I did purchase some. That's just, we need to pretend like that doesn't exist. But this one's a lot of fun because it's just so many circles. And these are big, fat, chunky animals. The neat thing about Eclipse is that they're not necessarily mysteries, but every single book has a different theme and a different style. This is a bigger book. The pages are bigger, the pictures are bigger, but the circles are smaller. So these are all the circulism books that I have. There are a bajillion of them, and they are all very different. There are many on my wish list. I do love these books. I'm sort of going through them slowly to savor them because they are a little, for me, they feel like they're a little pricey. I can't afford to get the whole range of them. So I'm just enjoying the ones I have, and they really are fun. So this is a good color by number, but what it's missing is the mystery factor for sure. But it hits all the other pros I have. So these are a good choice. So then I thought, well, maybe I want something, though, a little bit more challenging than just circles. The circles is great to turn my brain off, but something that's intricate, that makes a complete picture that I'm really fascinated with. Let's try George Tufexis. Wow. Okay, my problem with George Tufexis is, again, the medium. I do love the pictures, although they are largely landscape. I do have his book that is one side has Teresa Goodrich and the other side has George Tufexis, but it's mostly landscapes and buildings, and I'm not even sure where it is right now. But I bought this one because I thought, okay, this has animals in it and plants and stuff, so maybe I'll like it better. And I do. I really do. My problem with this one is that if I'm going to do pictures this intricate, I just want to do them. I don't really want them to be a color by number. I just want to do them with my own mediums and stuff, and not have the color by number lines. So, but I did try this. I did this one, and I used alcohol markers because I had seen someone who did use alcohol markers, and they said that it worked out fine. I like it, except it's a little fuzzy looking. Up close, you can see it looks good, better on camera than it does up close. And I had someone tell me that I need to then go over it with like fine liners to sharpen up the edges, and that would probably make me like it even better. This was fun, and I really enjoyed doing it. I can't see myself doing a lot of these just because they are so intricate, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the color by number. I want the color by number to be, I like the brainless one of like Eclipse. It's just color in the circles, but I want something a little bit more challenging than that. But if I'm going to do something this challenging and this intricate, it's not going to be a color by number. I'm going to go to a mythographic. I'm going to go to Kirby Rosanis. I'm going to go somewhere else, Denise Klett, and color something on my own with, a little bit better paper. So I don't find myself pulling for this at all. That's the only page I've done. It's not a very old book to me, so I'm going to keep on trying and playing with different pages. I have seen some of you do pages out of this book, and they're beautiful. I think, again, the alcohol markers are not going to be the right choice for me for this, just because that is so detailed. And instead, I need to find a better medium for these. Then I found this on Book Outlet before it closed for an incredibly cheap price. And I'm like, what? Deborah Moeller? I kind of like her. Stained glass. I've seen some really cool stained glass things. Color by number. Let's try it. So I got it, and of course I looked at and wow, look at those colors. Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, now this one, it grew on me. I think the first page I did was the first page I did. You could see that they grew on me too as I did them. It's back in here. It might have been this one. And I was still learning what to use. Now this is, it feels, gosh, I think it was, pretty sure it was water-based markers. Oh, I can figure that out. Just do this. Nope, it was alcohol markers. Might have been some water-based markers too. And it got really streaky for the big parts. And I realized that I didn't want to use my precious markers on those great big parts. But I liked the way the little parts looked. And so I just kept playing around with this one, seeing what I mean, the pictures are, they have that beautiful outline of the stained glass, which really makes your finished product look really good. And I just kept going. This one, I tried a different alcohol marker that really soaked into the page, so it doesn't have the thing about this is the alcohol markers would be the best bet to make it look stained glass. The problem is this paper is really thirsty. And instead of the alcohol sitting on the page and coloring it, it soaks into it. So it gives it a very different treatment. It doesn't look like stained glass, but I kind of like the texture it gives, so I don't mind it so much. So I do have a good time in this. And then I found out that I have friends who also have this book. So we started doing buddy colors. And this again was alcohol markers. And I think I'm just going to continue to use alcohol markers in this, even though it doesn't really give it a stained glass look. But they are fun and they're easy to use. And that's what this book is about. So this book, again, no mystery in what the finished product is. I was still looking for something that was a mystery. But this one is easy, fast, a no-brainer. The pictures are really nice. They turn out lovely. There's a couple of us. I now have a group of 3 of us. We have a group of 3 of us that are coloring buddy colors out of this. If you want to join, let me know. And I can get you hooked up so that if you want to color pages out of this, we just sort of randomly say, hey, do you want to color a page out of this? And yeah, and then someone picks one and we do it. Because like I said, they only take, an hour or so. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this. It's a nice book to take to work if I have the right colors with me. I forgot that I had started this one and hadn't finished it. I just put one of my handy dandy magazine pages in between because magazine pages, nothing goes through them. And then I do the alcohol marker on it. Yeah. So this is a fun book and I really enjoy it, but it gives me the color, the finished product is nice, the ease of doing it, but it still wasn't the mystery. And I still didn't have a really good medium for it. So I kept looking. So you know what's coming, right? I had been avoiding these because they are expensive. They're over 20 bucks. Any book that's over 20 bucks has to be a real thoughtful purchase for me. And there's so many of them. So I have watched many flip through videos. I had decided that the 2 Mickey ones, Mickey Donald and Co. and Mickey and Friends, were the 2 Mickeys I kind of wanted. And then I wanted this Looney Tunes because I grew up with Looney Tunes and I love Looney Tunes. And I've seen colorings from both of them and they're great. This one has got the black lines, outlines, and this is the page I've done from it. Now, I ended up using acrylic paint and acrylic paint pens. And that seems to be a good fit for these. For the big spaces, it's nice to use the paint. For the littler spaces, it's nice to use the paint pen. I'm not finding that these are any faster than doing a regular page. I mean, it takes a while to get the coverage, to then go back over with the black lines. I mean, it takes a while. But this hits me on my cylinder of needing it to be a mystery, because I had no idea this was what the picture was. And as it came, I was so thrilled because Donald Duck is my very favorite Disney character. And I was so thrilled that the very first page I did was a Donald Duck page. And I like the look of it. This is kind of the look I was going for. Now, I am still getting not incredibly smooth treatment with the acrylic paint, so I need to work with it. And I'm still thinking maybe gouache might be a better choice for me. I don't know what it is about me and acrylic. I'm just not that good with that medium. And I'm not getting that really smooth, non-streaky look that I want to get. But this book is great. Now the only thing about these books, I love it that I can't tell what it is. And this one here is not too intricate, but the problem is these are double-sided. I've always hated that about these books because the numbers are very light. I think alcohol markers would be great, but can't use them because double-sided. So, and the paper is a little thin. I was surprised at that. I thought the paper would be thicker. From all the videos I'd seen and stuff, I have a little fly. Because this really did wrinkle the paper. You see the wrinkles? And it's acrylic. I didn't add any water to it. So I was kind of surprised it didn't hold up that well. For being such expensive books, I kind of was hoping that the paper would be a little better. And I'm working on this one now. I've been practicing more. I feel like this one's coming out better, but again, the paper is getting quite wrinkled. This is all acrylic. Some of these are acrylic pens. This is all acrylic pens so far. And as you see, I got the streaks in the sky. I should have used paint instead of the pens. I got lazy, but I went to paint for the white and for all this white. So my new rule is if there's a big swatch of color, I'm going to do it with paint and a brush, not a pen. Even though I was lazy, because then I get that and I don't like it. But Bugs is turning out really well. This is all turning out really well. Again, it's not smooth. It's rough feeling, but this is better. I'm getting better with my acrylic. It's better than any that I've done yet so far, and I'm hoping to finish it soon. This is a really neat book. Again, you can't tell what it is, but the finished products are very bright. Very bright, very fun, very retro looking, and that's what I really wanted. So I love these, and if they were one-sided and had better paper, I would love them even more. They would be at the top of my list. But surprise, surprise, I was beginning to think that I wanted the moon and a unicorn and the stars, and I was never going to get the perfect color by number, but I was getting closer. So let's look at two more. So along with that same Lyrica order, I decided to try one of the tombs. And the trade-off on this is you can definitely see what it is. But I wanted to see if I liked it better. And I was trying to get a little example of what Hachette has to offer. And this book that just came out, this brand new one, the colors are bright. They don't have any of those pesky, really dark pictures that are hard to see, and it's like just the right combination of intricate and not intricate. And I feel like it, and I've heard other people say this, that this might be the best tomb yet. And everything's black lined. It's like they took all of your suggestions except making them one-sided and did it. So there's plenty of color choices, but they're not crazy going into letters, numbers, and symbols. The picture will be black lined. They have black lines around, and but you can tell what it is, which in the tombs you kind of can anyway. And I like it. And this one, I've not done anything in it yet because I've been experimenting with the others, but I'm getting ready to do this one right here. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying these books. And these books are great. Again, if the paper was a little bit better, if it was one-sided, it would be a 10 for me. But these books are fun. And these books are the closest I've gotten to an entertaining color by number that is challenging, but not too challenging. It doesn't feel like I'm doing a Kirby Rosanis, but I end up with just a color by number. And yet a lot of fun. And I got kind of obsessed with this color by number business. So it's one of the reasons that I hadn't done too much of other things, because I was going down a rabbit hole trying to actually, for once, find a color by number that I like. And there is a reason behind that, because the color by numbers will let my brain turn off. And sometimes I need that. Sometimes I was having a bad I don't want to put any judgment on it. I was experiencing a lot of fibromyalgia symptoms. I was in a lot of pain, and I just did not have the brain power to think through really intricate, big pictures where I needed to come up with a color palette, and I really, an idea. And that's what I love to do the most, but I just couldn't do it this month. So I wanted a good color by number. So, but out of sheer, I was ready to settle for this, but then out of sheer accident, I think I found the color by number book of my dreams. Buzzam. Now I know this is brand new. This is July 2023. I know that there's a couple flip throughs of this, and people are starting to buy it, and pretty soon I'm sure everybody will have it. I'd be happy to do another flip through, but there are flip throughs of this out there. And maybe I will sit down and do a flip through, just not in this particular video, because this book, and I found it by accident. I was in Walmart with my client. I typically don't shop at Walmart, but I go there with my client that I work with. And while my client was out shopping, I just thought I'd wander over to the coloring books. And they didn't have anything in that I wanted. And I was walking. I couldn't go this way down the aisle because it was blocked by carts and stuff. So I went this way past the children's, like, ABC books and stuff. And someone had taken this and just stuck it down in those learn the ABC type books. Like, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. And it was the only one. And I was like, what is that? So I picked it up and looked at it. For one thing, it's huge. It is really thick. And I think it's Jamie's Coloring Love that does a flip through this thing. There is so many pictures. It's huge. It's high quality. It's got a nice glossy cover. It's thick cover. Here's the pictures. It's got words and pictures, and it's all the villains. See, I love the villains. The villains are my favorite, but the villain books, all the villain books I've seen have not been great. A lot of the Hachette Hero ones make the villains very dark, and they just haven't been very interesting. So I saw these colors and I was like, wow, that's a lot of colors, and I kind of like it. And then I saw that they were one-sided. Now, and it was real people had drawn these things. They have little stories. It's a really fun story. It's a Disney approved book. This is from Disney. So these are Disney artists. They are one-sided, so you can use anything. And the paper, I think it's at least as good as Hachette Heroes, but it might be better. The only thing is this is more like, this isn't a mystery color. This is definitely a picture color, but for some reason, this is turning me on. And I think it's because it's going to work with my medium. I can use alcohol markers on it because the numbers are very light. I can use paint. This paper will probably hold up. It might wrinkle like Hachette does. For watercolor paint, well, you better be really careful, but gouache would work. But what I have done experimenting, and this was the book that I just jumped into and started experimenting with. The pictures in it, look at it. And I don't like words, but I did a word one, and you will see it in a minute. And I actually really loved it. But look at these pictures. What is it about it that is appealing to me about this? I can't figure it out. Any other book, I'd be like, oh, that's too much big space. It's not intricate enough. I want to color this. Like, I want to sit down right now and color this. I don't know what it is about this book. I don't know if it's just that the images are so familiar because it is Disney book and it is Disney artists. I don't know if it's that it's just the right amount of space. It's not too much. They stop before they get to be too much, because I just don't like big expanses of one color. I can't make it look good. And they just don't have that. I mean, yes, there's sky, but I would do, a treatment to that, ink or pastel or something. But even these words are fun because they're so colorful. I don't know what it is about this book. This doesn't hit all my requirements by far. Oh, this is the next one I'm doing. But maybe it's the nostalgia, but I love this book. So what I started with was her, and I did post her on Instagram. I tried lots of things on this. I tried paint pens. I tried just paint. It's messy. It's a little messy and it's kind of out of control, but it was my first color by number like this, and I just had fun. And then I just kept going. This is what I'm working on right now. I haven't finished it. I went to this one to see how do you do this acrylic thing? So here I use acrylic pens, and I really like this. I'm surprised because I don't like to really color words. This was fun, and it turned out really pretty. I don't know. I liked it. I did this one, and this one was my favorite. I started using some metallic acrylics in here, and there's mostly, there's some pen, probably equal amount of pen and paint. And when I say pen and paint, I mean acrylic paint pen and then acrylic paint applied with a brush. The shiny metallic stuff is paint applied with a brush. But I think that was a lot of fun, and it was not too difficult at all. I did this one. Now this one could be done, or it could have more done to it with the cards. And so there's more that can be done to it. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do the cards still. But again, that was a really fun picture. Again, it's paint and paint pens. And then what I did also was, because I would mix paint, or I'd get the black out, I'd have extra. So I do what Feral Shoujo does, is I didn't want that black paint just to dry up and be wasted, is I went forward and found where there was black and painted black. I also was practicing my painting skills. So I went forward until my black paint was run out. So that's what I'm going to do with some of the colors that I use a lot of, is like whatever this 28 is, it's probably a gray or a brown or something. Well, here are the colors. The nice thing about this is the colors are separate, so you don't have this mess down here, which bugs me. 28 is a dark gray. So I'll probably mix up a dark gray and acrylic and paint that. And then if I have more acrylic left over, or, I'll go other pictures that have 28 and I'll look for it. And not this one looks like browns and stuff, but wherever there's a 28, like this is all 28, I'll paint that as well, so I don't waste any paint. But this book, and it just goes to prove that you can have a checklist of books, a checklist of items of a book that would make your perfect book. And then you find your perfect book, and it's nothing like that. I have heard so many people say, I don't normally like to, color spiders, but I like this spider. I don't normally like space books, but I love this book. And it's like, I need to just quit saying what I like and don't like, because I love this book, and it doesn't match all the criteria that I was holding all the other books up to. So I don't know. Coloring is such a subjective journey, isn't it? But I hope that you have books that you enjoy to color in. And if they bring you joy, yes, keep it, buy more of it, have fun with it. If it doesn't bring you joy, pass it on. Let someone else have it. Get it out of your collection so that you are open to books like this. I had room for this because I'd gotten rid of some other books. Oh, I love The Rescuers. And now this joy of a book that makes me smile, that I just love, like I can't stop looking through it, is here in my collection just by accident, which, as in Kung Fu Panda, what Oogway says, Master Oogway says, there are no coincidences, right? So how did I find this? Just misplaced and the last one in the whole store? I don't know. But this is the book for me. So if you have this book and you want to do a buddy, let me know. If you have any of the color by number books that I have listed and you'd like to do a buddy, let me know. Because I enjoy doing buddy colors. I have some room on my dance card coming up, and just let me know. I'm not going to bother to pull the rest of them out, but I just wanted to say thank you all. Thank you all for your videos, because that's how I find books like these that make me happy and that give me something for my brain to shut off and do when my body just isn't working right. So thank you all, and have a great day.